this last Sunday, the dealership that we bought our boat from was throwing on this big event at the lake, a big tie-up event.
Did I see you Saturday then on the lake?
Yeah, you saw me Saturday.
Okay.
Yep.
This is the first time I'd seen Mitch a little drunk in a while. He was...
Yeah, I was into it.
He was primed.
Yep.
He was lubricated.
So, okay, let's back up. Let's stop Sunday for a second.
I wanted to come
Saturday.
and get on the boat with you for a while, but man, like I was trying to get out of there at the time. I'm like, Joe, I got to.
That water was rough too. It was probably not good fishing.
Well, I think it rained 2 days. We shouldn't have gone. But so, I had to get out of the fucking house.
So we get on the water, and the water's rough, and so we figure we're going to go anchor out and just party for a little while before we go do water sports.
You're talking about on Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Saturday.
Saturday. Okay.
And so, because we got out there later Saturday. So we get out there, and my son wants to surf from the marina over to where we're going to go anchor up.
Where do you anchor up? Down by the dam, or do you go over to the beach? Okay. Just one cove over.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And so, I mean, we're talking a quarter mile, right? It's not very far.
It's not far.
But you can do a lot on a surfboard in a quarter mile because you're only going 11 miles an hour.
Yeah. Joey and I can't figure it out. Like every time we see them guys go by, I'm like, dude, that doesn't look fun. Like they're moving the speed of smell.
It's more fun than you think it is.
So slow.
Yeah, it's slow.
So slow.
Yeah. You're still doing
no judgment. It just looks really slow.
Yeah. So you know how 15-year-olds are. Sometimes 15-year-olds can be a little mouthy. They get into a mood, and all of a sudden they think it's okay to backtalk their mom and dad and all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah, that's when you get slapped in the mouth.
Yeah. So my son gets up on the wakeboard, and he ends up like going off the back of it's choppy as shit. And so
it was rough on Saturday.
Yeah. He ends up going off the back of the wave. You just lose your momentum, and it's called falling off the wave, but you don't really fall. You just disappear off the back of the wave.
Yeah.
And so
and there's nothing pushing you anymore, so you just sink.
And so I circle around and I go get him, and he, instead of like admitting it's his fault, he's like trying to tell me that I'm not driving the boat right, and I didn't turn around to get him right and everything else.
Who's that sound like?
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah, his apple doesn't fall far.
Yeah, that's
right?
tough, man. That's tough.
So then I warn him, I'm like, you better lock your mouth up like that because we're not going to do that today. Well, then he falls off the back of the wave again, and he's got more words for me and critiquing all this shit.
I'd have jumped out there and drowned his little ass.
So I put the boat in neutral right next to him, and he's drifting right towards the back platform, and I go like kind of storming off the back of the boat, and then we were 15 years into being parents, and we don't parent our kids when we're frustrated. However, mild frustration we'll use as motivation, right?
Oh, dude,
and so like I'm not going to go off there.
That is not a rule I use.
Yeah. so I go.
You get what you get.
Yeah,
you get what you got.
I go storming up over. So the back of our boat, it's got a seat. It's got the motor deck.
Yeah.
And then it's got a blower deck.
Yeah.
And then it's got a swim deck, and then it's the water, right?
Yeah.
So I
That's
go.
How most of them are now.
Yeah. So I go storming up over the seat. I slip and fall on the motor deck. And I land with my ass square on the blower deck and slide right off the blower deck onto the swim deck. And then
this is a great story.
And then I slide right off the swim deck and into the water.
Oh shit, you're full bitch.
So here comes Dad, all charged up, ready to course correct his kid. And then I'm in the water.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
So good, dude. I'm
gonna
fuck you up. Oh shit!
Exactly. That's exactly what it was.
That's why it's so good, like, dude. Oh my god.
He's gonna learn the way of Dad. You can't talk to Dad that way.
I'm gonna fuck this boy up.
And so
I'm drowning.
I pop up out of the water. And I like the water hit me just like I wasn't planning on falling in the water.
No,
so
you had no life jacket on.
No life jacket.
You're probably choking.
Yes, exactly. Took lake water straight up the nose, and I don't know if this is the same way for everybody. I'm allergic to lake water, as I've learned, and so when water hits my nose, it like burns hard, and it's because my body hates water, right? Hates lake water, and so
weird.
So now I come up out of the water,
urine, but continue.
I come up out of the water, my nose is burning, and the look in his eye was like, Dad might kill me right now.
Yeah, and even though it wasn't my fault.
Yeah, and then I look in the boat, and my wife is like she had to turn around.
Like she's laughing.
She's like, I can't laugh at this one, you know.
See, that's the difference between Janine and I, because she'd have been like, you fucking dumbass, and she would have been laughing right in my face.
So I like pull back up on the swim deck, and I do my course correction and talking to him and everything else. So then,
oh, dude, that's so good, man.
He grabs the rope to get back up on the surfboard again, and he mouthed off again before I even hit the throttle.
Oh.
And so there's all this slack in the rope and everything.
Just yank his arm out of the socket.
I just floored it. I didn't even wait. I just floored it. The rope leaves his hand and he's like, I'm done. I'm like, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
you were going to be done whether you admitted it or not. So I'm glad you realized on the first attempt.
Get out of the damn water.
Yeah.
What was Grant doing?
He was just like, see, every time Mason comes, it's just bad. You know? If you have two boys that are 2 years apart,
That
they do
makes 100% sense that he would say that.
So
he's the wild card of the whole.
Yeah, he is a wild card.
But then by the end of it, like Mason kind of comes to his senses and he realizes he's being a little jerk and everything else, right?
Sorry, man. Yeah.
So then we go out there Sunday. And
did you take everyone? You told me you were going to take everyone.
it's just me and Mason, and then Danielle ended up coming later.
Okay.
So
Grant didn't want to go?
Didn't want to go.
Yeah.
So
I think I need to start taking Grant fishing with me.
maybe.
He would love it. He would love it.
And he'd probably go. Like, yeah.
Dude,
Grant's, so if you have boys, when your boys hit like 11 to 12 and 13, they're in this zone where they never want to leave the house. It doesn't matter. You could be going to the Indy race.
Layla does the same.
And he's like, I don't want to go.
Yeah, Layla's the same.
They're just in this homebody mode. But anyway, so Mason and I get out to this tie-up event. This is a big event, a lot of boats.
A lot of drunk dipshits, I'm sure.
No.
It was classy?
Yep,
Okay.
very classy.
All right.
So
I'm surprised. I thought it'd be a bunch of meatheads drinking and...
No, you could demo boats, you could demo surfboards, wakeboards, you could demo foil boards.
Ooh, did you try a couple surfboards?
Well, we're gonna get into why I didn't in a minute.
It was good. It was probably pretty rough out there.
So we get out there at 10:30 in the morning and the water is like glass. And I told Mason, I'm like, we are not going over and tying up with this event and wasting this smooth of water.
Yeah. You get out there and go.
Yeah, we're going to go enjoy some water sports and especially wakeboarding because you can only wakeboard when it's smoothish.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're going to enjoy some wakeboarding before we go tie up. And Mason's like, well, I don't want to wakeboard, so this is all you. And I'm like, cool. So I put on the wakeboard. He guns it. I get up, warming up, doing just some little stuff to warm my feet up and my legs up and everything else. I go hit the wave, jump wake to wake. Cool. I go back and I go hit the wave again to jump wake to wake. And I land, but then somehow after, I don't even know what happened. Somehow after I landed.
Did you land a little sideways or something?
Not sure. But I landed in a way. I jumped farther than I anticipated. I'll say this. I did not land on the downhill side of the wave. I landed out in the flats.
It's tough when you can't judge your landing.
And the board hit the water in a way, and my foot ripped out of the binding. And wakeboard bindings are really tight.
Yeah,
and
they
so
have to be.
My foot to come out of the binding and the binding never came undone.
That's interesting.
And so I'm laying in the water.
Is it a cheap board or is it nice?
It's nice.
Okay.
I'm under it took me a long time to find the surface. I went into the water so hard, I got disoriented and I didn't know which way was up.
Yeah.
And so I'm swimming and I realized very quickly it's getting colder. I'm like, I'm swimming the wrong way.
First off, when you crash and you have a life jacket on, you don't swim.
Right.
You just do this.
Instinct.
And it just buoys you to the surface.
Well, I didn't realize.
You're just fighting the life jacket. Well, I want to die.
Yeah. Well, I didn't realize how hard and deep I crashed. Right.
Yeah.
And
when
so
you're up like that and you hit hard, like it'll push your fat ass down there.
Well, and it may have rung my bell a little bit because I don't remember a lot of it. Right.
Yeah.
And so
that
next
hurts.
thing I know, I realize the water's getting colder. And so I'm like, well, fuck, I'll just wait. And so I stop fighting it and I just wait and I go to the surface.
Yeah. Takes 2 seconds.
And I give Mason a thumbs up because yes, I'm in massive pain, but
you gotta make sure you're breathing. Yeah.
And so Mason comes around and he was like, that's the hardest fall I've ever seen you take. Get out of the water. And I'm like, hold on. I don't know what hurts yet. Like I'm still figuring all this out.
Yeah.
And so then I realized my foot's not in the binding anymore. And I'm like, that ain't cool because I know the position my foot must have been in to get out of the binding. And now my foot starts hurting and everything else. And so I'm like, and Mason's like, dude, get out. And I'm like, hold on. As much as I know about feet and ankle injuries, this is only going to get worse.
Yeah.
And so if I want to get any more riding in, now is the time. And I'm like, let me catch my breath. Let me make sure like nothing's massively broken.
I would have at least pulled up onto the swim deck and been like, all right, catch my breath here.
I sat on the swim deck for a second.